Harvard accepts about 3 out of every 100 applicants. The elevator union apprenticeship in a major American city? Some years, it's harder. Thousands of people line up for a few dozen spots, because the ones who get in will out-earn most lawyers by 30, retire at 55 with a pension most doctors would envy, and almost nobody knows the job exists. You're about to spend 27 years in machine rooms and hoistways the public never sees. This is your life as every rank of elevator technician. You find out about the trade by accident. Your uncle mentions a guy who fixes elevators and just bought a lake house. You look it up and don't believe the numbers, so you show up when the union local opens its apprenticeship list for the first time in 2 years. The line wraps around the block before sunrise. The process is brutal in its simplicity. An aptitude test heavy on mechanical reasoning and math, then an interview with men who have 30 years of hoistway grease under their nails. For 1,000 applicants, 60 spots. You score well and interview badly, too eager, too rehearsed, and the rejection letter is 1 paragraph long. Here's the level almost everyone skips by quitting. You spend the next year working a warehouse job at $17 an hour, banking $400 a month, taking a night class in electrical basics, and doing practice interviews with your uncle's friend from the trade. When the list opens again, you're not a kid who wants money. You're a candidate who understands counterweights. Second time through, your name is on the list. Net worth, for $1,900 and a library card. The gate was the hardest rank. It usually is. 6 months of probation, and the union is watching everything. Your rate, 50% of a mechanic's wage, about $24 an hour, $50,000 a year, which already embarrasses your warehouse pay. Your job is tools, materials, and silence. Stage the rigging, hand up the right wrench before it's asked for, and learn the first commandment from Frank, the mechanic you're assigned to, a man who writes in the machine room logbook like it's scripture. The elevator never forgives twice. You learn what the public never sees, that behind every polished lobby door is a concrete shaft with a counterweight heavier than a car moving at terrifying silence, and that respect for it is the entire job. One helper in your class gets dropped at month 4 for taking a shortcut across an open pit. You pass probation on a Tuesday. Nobody celebrates, which you learn is the trade's way of saying you belong. First financial move. The union enrolls you in the annuity, dollars per hour worked, deposited automatically, before you ever see them. You don't fully understand it yet. It will quietly become the most important line on every paycheck of your life. 4 to 5 years of this. Days in the field, 2 nights a week in the industry's national classroom program. Exams that wash people out for real. Your rate steps up with each year, 55%, then 65%, call it $28 an hour and climbing, $60,000 with the overtime that construction season brings. You learn hydraulics, then traction machines, then door operators, the fussy, hated, essential door operators that cause most of the service calls in America. The textbook teaches theory, Frank teaches the trade. How to read a machine room smell, why you never trust a brake you didn't test yourself, how the logbook tells the truth about a building when the property manager won't. Money lesson of the level, courtesy of a classmate. He's financing a $61,000 truck on an apprentice wage because the mechanic money is coming. Frank overhears and says the sentence you'll repeat forever. Spend the rank you have. Invest like the rank you want. You put $900 a month into index funds and drive something ugly. At the year 3 exam, for more classmates wash out. Net worth, $47,000, and hands that finally know what they're doing. A modernization job in an old downtown tower, and a moment that rewires you. You're on top of the car with a mechanic from another crew who wants to save 10 minutes. And he calls for the car to move while your safety line is clipped to the wrong point. The counterweight passes you close enough to feel the wind of it, a multi-ton mass moving in silence, missing you by the width of a decision. Nothing happens. That's the terrifying part. Nothing happens, and it so easily could have been everything. Frank doesn't yell. He opens the logbook, writes the near miss in careful block letters, and makes you read the entry from 1994. Same shaft, same shortcut, a name followed by a date, and nothing else. The elevator never forgives twice. From that day, you're the apprentice who locks out, tags out, tests twice, and doesn't care who's waiting. It cost you ribbing. It will later make you the mechanic building owner's request by name. The financial mirror of the lesson. You buy long-term disability coverage and a $1 million term policy at 23, when it's cheap and you feel immortal, because you just learned, by inches, that you aren't. You top out. The card says elevator mechanic, and the rate says $54 an hour, $112,000 a year base, more with overtime, at 25, with zero college debt. Same age your high school friends are finishing grad school with 6 figures of loans. You have 6 figures in assets. You get your own route. 40 buildings, their machines, their moods, their logbooks. A route is a strange kind of ownership. You don't own the elevators, but they're yours, and buildings learn your first name. The work splits into worlds: construction, new installs, loud and fast, maintenance, the long marriage, and repair, the detective work you turn out to be good at. Quick math break, because this level is where the machine starts working for you. Between the pension credits accruing every hour and the annuity now receiving over $9 an hour on your behalf, your compensation has a shadow twin, roughly $19,000 a year building silently in accounts you never touch. Add your own $2,500 a month into the market. Portfolio, $128,000. Frank retires this year. The logbook from his last machine room ends up in your toolbox, and you're not sure who put it there. You volunteer for the on-call rotation, and for 3 years your phone owns you. Entrapment at 2 a.m., double time. Storm knocks out a hospital's service elevator, double time, and a police escort. New Year's Eve, a packed car stuck between floors at a hotel. You walk through the lobby in your work jacket like a surgeon through a waiting room. The checks are absurd. Your best year touches $168,000, and the annuity and pension keep compounding underneath like a second worker who never sleeps. Now the honest column. You sleep in fragments. You leave a birthday dinner at the word entrapment. The relationship that survived your apprenticeship does not survive the rotation, and she isn't wrong when she says the phone comes first. 1:03 a.m. drive home. You do the math that changes the next decade. The night money is real, but it buys assets, and assets buy the right to stop. You give the rotation until your portfolio crosses $350,000, a number, not a feeling. Numbers keep promises that feelings break. 18 months later, it crosses. You hand off the phone, sleep 9 hours, and wake up rich in the only currency the rotation pays poorly: mornings. You move to modernization, gutting 50-year-old machines out of landmark buildings and threading new technology into shafts designed before your father was born. It's the trade's chess. Every building is a puzzle with no repeat solutions. Hoistways that don't match the drawings. Freight cars that carried pianos in 1961. You fall in love with the work all over again. Your rate holds strong at $58. Overtime is selective now, and the income question has quietly inverted. Between market portfolio, the annuity balance, now past $210,000 on its own, and a paid-down duplex you bought during the night call years, your net worth crosses $600,000, and about $34,000 a year arrives without your tools leaving the truck. At a job site lunch, a 20-year-old helper asks how much you make, then asks the better question: how much you keep. You open the logbook, Frank's logbook, which you now write in, and show him the same 2 lines Frank showed you. Spend the rank you have. Invest like the rank you want. The kid rolls his eyes. One of them won't. The rank civilians have never heard of, and mechanics say with respect: adjuster. The specialist who takes a freshly installed elevator, a multi-million-dollar machine assembled by a full crew, and tunes it until the ride is glass. Leveling within millimeters, door timing to the 10th of a second, ride quality you feel in your knees or don't feel at all. It's the top of the craft ladder, the trade's concert violinist, and the rate reflects it. You clear $150,000 in a normal year without a single 2 a.m. phone call. Companies fly you to jobs other crews can't finish. Your signature in a logbook means the machine is right. Here is what the rank teaches about money that no one expects. Mastery is the safest asset you own. Recessions cancel new construction, But a hospital elevator out of adjustment doesn't care about interest rates. The elite of a critical trade are the last ones an economy can put down. Your net worth crosses $1 million at 36, and exactly nobody at the job site knows, because you still drive something ugly and bring lunch. The quiet part is the point. The union asks you to teach 2 nights a week in the same classroom that washed out your classmates, and you discover the strange pleasure of building people instead of machines. Your apprentices get the full inheritance, the counterweight story, the 1994 logbook entry, the 2 lines about rank and money. You watch the same movie every cohort, the truck kid, the shortcut kid, the quiet one in the back who tests twice. And you learn you can predict net worth at 40 from habits at 22. Your own numbers have gone quietly absurd. $63,000 a year now arrives from investments and rent. The annuity is a locked vault growing on schedule, and your pension projection reads like a typo. A 5-figure monthly check for life, starting at 55, guaranteed by every hour you've ever worked. You still pull wrenches 3 days a week because you like who you are in a machine room. At home, there's a family that has never once heard the word entrapment at a birthday dinner. That, you understand now, was what the number $350,000 actually bought. No company, no logo, no LLC. That's the twist of this ladder, and it's why nobody sees it. You never became an owner, and you became wealthy anyway. At 48, your net worth clears $2 million. Index funds, 2 paid-off properties, an annuity north of $600,000. All of it built on an hourly wage and the discipline of a man who tests brakes twice. At 55, you retire, exactly on schedule, and the pension starts. Over $5,000 a month, every month, for life, indexed and union guaranteed, on top of everything else. Your neighbor, a corporate director who worked weekends for 30 years, asks over the fence what you did for a living. Elevators, you say, and watch him do the face everyone does. On your last day, you leave Frank's logbook in the machine room of your first route, with 1 new entry on the final page, 2 lines about rank and money, and a phone number a young helper can call. The elevator never forgives twice, but it pays, forever, the ones who respected it once. 10 ranks, 27 years. From a rejection letter to a $2 million net worth and a pension for life, without a degree, without a company, without anyone ever knowing. Some ladders are loud. The richest ones hum quietly behind a lobby wall. If you want more careers broken down rank by rank, paycheck by paycheck, subscribe. Next episode, we climb a different ladder.